This image behind me is a screenshot of an undercover investigation at a slaughterhouse where they are slaughtering the male calves taken off the dairy cows. In case you don't know, dairy cows do not produce milk because they are dairy cows. Dairy cows actually produce milk because they are mothers. They are forcibly impregnated to get them to start lactating, and then roughly once every year afterwards, they are forcibly re-impregnated to keep those dairy cows lactating. All of their babies are stolen from them, typically on day one, often like right after they are born. Within a few short hours of being born, those calves are taken off of those dairy cows so that those dairy cows can be hooked up to milking machines to have their baby food sucked out of their body while their babies are being slaughtered if those babies are boys. And another reason why they take those calves off those dairy cows is so that the dairy cow and her baby do not form a bond. The dairy industry is very cruel. I mean, the whole entire animal agriculture industry is very cruel. But there are a lot of people who are vegetarian because, they understand that slaughterhouses are evil places. And they understand that killing animals for food is wrong. But they don't realize that the dairy industry is just as cruel, if not more cruel, than the meat industry. That even the egg industry is just as cruel, if not more cruel, than the meat industry. Because again, for those of you just tuning in, dairy cows do not produce milk because they're dairy cows. Dairy cows actually produce milk because they're mothers. They are forcibly impregnated. And you can see, I did a stitch. My last video is actually a stitch of the Iowa dairy farmer's most recent video. He did a TikTok a few days ago where he's literally sexually assaulting a dairy cow. And simply because she's laying there, not resisting, he's acting like, he's not doing anything wrong. But yeah, see, I know what he's doing to that dairy cow. And yes, it absolutely is wrong. Because I know why he's doing that. I know why he's doing that to that dairy cow. He is not doing that, what he calls, what all farmers in the animal agriculture industry, they all call it artificial insemination, but it's not. That process of forcibly impregnating those animals, like in the dairy industry, they forcibly impregnate dairy cows so that they will start to lactate because those dairy cows do not automatically produce milk. They produce milk because they're mothers. So yeah, they're forcibly impregnated. And the Iowa dairy farmer just did a TikTok the other day where he is artificially inseminating a dairy cow. Actually, he's forcing semen into her vagina, and she did not give consent to that. And he's acting like he's not doing anything wrong. And these farmers actually act like they're doing these animals a favor. That's how deranged this whole industry is. They will try to fool the consumers into thinking that they're actually doing those animals a favor by artificially inseminating them, like in the dairy industry, like the Iowa dairy farmer. Oh, well, if a bull mounted her, that could cause her injury. Well, these animals do not exist in nature. The only way a bull would ever come into contact with your dairy cow is if you brought a bull into her world. But no, what they do is they masturbate select bulls, either with their hand or they shove an electro-ejaculator in their anus to get them to ejaculate, to collect the semen, to then force that semen into those dairy cows, like the latest video that the Iowa dairy farmer posted. He's shoving semen into a dairy cow to get her pregnant, acting like he's doing her a favor. But I know what he's doing to her, and I know why he's doing what he's doing to her. And it's evil. It's evil. He's literally forcibly impregnating her to get her to start lactating so that when she gives birth, he's going to steal her baby from her, like within hours. Within hours. Steal her baby from her. And if that baby is a boy, he's going to send that baby straight to a slaughter. Well, maybe not straight to a slaughterhouse, but to another farmer, like a veal farmer. Well, he says he sends his male calves to the beef industry. But even in the beef industry, in case you don't know, these animals are slaughtered very, very, very young. Beef cattle are slaughtered between 12 to 22 months of age. These animals can live over 20 years. And yeah, these male calves in the dairy industry will never see their second birthday. Unless, maybe if a vegan or like Joaquin, rescues them and takes them to an animal sanctuary like, he did the day after he won his Oscar, and after he gave that, like the most epic Oscar speech ever, literally destroying the dairy industry. Oh my God. That was the most epic speech ever. And then the very next day, he went to a slaughterhouse and he rescued a cow and her calf from the slaughterhouse and took them both to a farm animal sanctuary. No, I'm not lying. I'm not lying. But yeah, all of the male calves born to those dairy cows are killed. Even if they're sold off to the beef industry, like the Iowa dairy farmer says he sends his male calves off to the beef industry, those beef cattle are slaughtered at 1 year old. They can live over 20 years. And then he sends the dairy cows off to be slaughtered. And, maybe because I saved both of those videos. Oh, and then I saved the video where he gives his dairy cows calcium supplements. Yeah, so I saved those videos, so maybe I should like do one TikTok of them combined. That would probably make for a good TikTok video. But yeah, he literally about a month ago made a video mocking the fact that he sends his dairy cows to slaughter when those dairy cows can no longer, produce enough milk to make him money. Yeah, so the whole thing's pretty vile. And he's acting like he's doing those dairy cows a favor, calling it artificial insemination when he's literally sexually violating those animals. Yeah, if the same things were being done to a human, it certainly would be sexual assault. And if you were, if you were to force semen into just look at my last video I posted. I did a stitch of the Iowa dairy farmer's TikTok video of him sexually assaulting a dairy cow. He's literally shoving semen into the vagina of an unconsenting female. Those animals do not give consent, and it's so sick and twisted that people will say, well, they're animals. They can't give consent. So yeah, it's perfectly fine for us to shove semen into them because, they can't consent. That is some sick shit. That is some sick ass shit right there. Saying that it's okay to shove semen into someone, if they can't speak your language and tell you no. Or, they don't have the mental capacity to understand what it is you're actually doing to them. Yeah, and like in the case of cows, they don't really understand what is being done to them. If they did, they certainly wouldn't allow. They would, they would fight. They would fight those dairy farmers if they understood what those dairy farmers were doing to them. See, I know what those dairy farmers are doing to those cows. I know what they're doing to them. And I clearly comprehend the fact that if they were doing the same thing to a human, it would be a crime of rape, kidnapping, theft, and murder. Yeah, shoving semen into a woman's vagina without her consent absolutely would be rape. And then to steal her baby from her as soon as she gives birth, that would be a crime of kidnapping. And then to hook her up to a milking machine to suck her baby's baby food out of her body while her baby, if her baby is a boy, is being hacked to pieces inside of a slaughterhouse. Yeah, those are crimes of theft and murder. So yeah, if the same exact thing's happening to these animals to produce animal products were happening to humans, they would in fact be crimes of rape, kidnapping, theft, and murder. And I'm not even exaggerating. Yeah, that's just creepy. That's just creepy. People are like, oh, dairy farmers are amazing. Amazingly wicked. Like, yeah, it's like amazing that they get away with their wickedness. Yeah, all you have to do to determine if something is right or wrong is determine if you want that same thing done to you. Yeah, so imagine yourself in that victim's position. Imagine yourself, not in the fucking dairy farmer's position, where he's like literally making money off of what he's doing to these animals. Don't imagine yourself in the victimizer's position. Imagine yourself in the victim's position and that dairy cow's position. Imagine yourself in that dairy cow's position. And it's so disgusting that there are women, especially mothers. I've seen people, women, mothers, literally commenting like how wonderful artificial insemination is. That is just evil. That is just evil because, you know, if you're in the dairy industry or if you truly understand how the dairy industry operates, you understand that those dairy cows only produce milk because they're mothers, that they have to be impregnated before they will start to produce milk. How evil is it to shove semen into someone's vagina to impregnate them for the sinister purpose of stealing their baby, selling their baby off to killers to slaughter for their flesh? So you can take that mother and hook her up to a milking machine multiple times a day to suck her dead baby's food from her body over and over and over again. And then when you don't have any more use for her because her body has become so battered that her body can no longer produce enough milk to make these dairy farmers money, they literally send these dairy cows to slaughter and then make a fucking TikTok about it, laughing about the fact that they send their dairy cows to slaughter. Like this same dairy farmer who just made a TikTok of himself sexually violating a dairy cow a month ago, made another TikTok video laughing about the fact that he sends his dairy cows to slaughter when those dairy cows can no longer make him any more money. You know, because those dairy cows are forced to produce as much as 10 times more milk than is natural. So that puts an enormous amount of stress on their bodies. And then the emotional stress of having baby after baby after baby stolen from them. And then hooked up to a milking machine multiple times a day to have all of this milk sucked out of their body. You know, and it's just crazy that anybody would defend this. And yeah, I had posted like 4 videos back. I posted another video damning this evil, evil industry. There was a small family operated dairy farm where the dairy farmer literally goes into his barn with his dairy cows that are pregnant. The one had just given birth to a baby. And out of his own mouth, he says that the wind chill is going to drop to minus 20 degrees. So he takes this newborn baby that's in a barn, says it's a boy, says he's selling him in 10 days, because that's what he does. That's what he does with the male calves. Is he says he sells his male calves off to the beef industry. And he says in 10 days, he's selling him to the beef industry because it's a boy. But that same day that that little baby was born, out of his own mouth, he says the wind chill is dropping to minus 20 degrees. And what does he do? Puts the little newborn baby outside in a tiny pen when the wind chill is going to drop to minus 20 degrees. When that baby was just in a barn with his mother, and he's only keeping him for 10 days. So why can't this dairy farmer just let that little calf stay with his mother in that barn for 10 days? Why can't he do that? Why? Because it's standard practice in this evil, disgusting industry for those dairy farmers to take those newborn babies off of those dairy cows within hours of being born, so that that mother and so that baby will not form a bond. Yeah, I know you can't stand me because you can't stand the truth, because the truth is so evil and so disgusting. You're mad at me. You're mad at me. You're mad at me. Well, I'm not the reason why this is happening. I'm not the reason why this is happening. So don't be mad at me. Be mad at the people causing this evil shit to happen. Those would be the people who consume dairy products knowingly and willingly. Now, I understand you might be consuming dairy products and you actually think, oh, dairy cows, they just produce milk. That's, that's what they do. They make milk and you have to milk them, or they get infected udders. I understand that a lot of you people just believe the nonsense that these victimizers who are victimizing these animals for profit spew all day long. I understand that some of you are so naive. You just believe what they say and you think vegans are just lying. We're not. We are not. We're not lying. We are not lying. I know you want to believe that we're lying, but we're not lying. We're literally telling you the truth. And just look at the Iowa dairy farmer even says out of his own mouth what he's doing. And even like I said, 4 videos back, not the last video, not the video before the second to last, not the third, but the 4th to last video that I posted is a small family operated dairy farm, a TikTok of this farmer who runs a small family operated dairy. And he says that he takes the males and sells them at 10 days old to the beef industry. So how am I lying about that? When the dairy farmers themselves are telling you that they're taking these calves off those dairy cows and selling all the boys to be slaughtered for meat. And again, all of the beef cattle raised for beef are slaughtered between 12 to 22 months old. So they're 1 year old when they're slaughtered for your steak. 1 year old. They can live over 20 years. And then again, yeah, like I said, these farmers are so vile. They make TikToks literally sexually violating animals. And, oh, look, see, she's not resisting. There's nothing violent about that. Well, sexual assault doesn't necessarily have to be a very violent and forceful thing. There are reasons why a woman who is a victim of sexual assault might not resist. Just because a woman doesn't resist doesn't mean she's not being sexually violated. That's just sick. And that's basically the Iowa dairy farmers' last video is basically saying, oh, if a woman doesn't resist, then it can't be rape. If they don't resist, then yeah, it's okay. I mean, if you sexually assault a disabled person who doesn't understand what you're doing to them, there's nothing wrong with that, because that's his mentality. Like, look at this dairy cow just laying there letting me artificially inseminate her. He's literally forcing semen into her for the sinister purpose of impregnating her, to steal her baby, to send her baby to slaughter if that baby's a boy, to steal his baby food, and then to send that dairy cow to slaughter when she can no longer produce enough milk to make him money. And then make a TikTok laughing about the fact that he sends these dairy cows to slaughter. Literally singing a song, whopper, 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 pointing to each one of his dairy cows. Whopper, whopper, whopper. Disgusting. So disgusting. I don't care. There are people listening to me. Just because there's a whole bunch of people in the industry on my live stream doesn't mean shit. doesn't mean shit. I literally have tens of thousands of people on a regular basis view my TikTok videos and my live streams, and I'm getting people to go vegan. And let me show you. Here is, now why is this getting hung? Okay, let me pull this up. Okay, so I posted this video. I posted this video recently, and look at this comment down at the bottom. I can't drive through In-N-Out Burgers anymore. Just can't do it. These videos have changed me. Yeah. So see, people are, you know, changing their consumption habits because they're realizing that animal products are definitely coming from animal cruelty. So I get a lot of comments like that, you know, people saying they want to go vegan now. Oh, and let me see if I can find it. Convincing people to go vegan too. Let's see where. I'm trying to see the screenshot because I did a screenshot of a comment that somebody had made. Let me see. Yeah, I can't because it says, oh dear Lord, don't do that. Yeah, okay, there it is. I can see it now because there was a thing over top of it, so I couldn't read the comment. But now I can. So yeah, I did a screenshot. This is that video I was talking to you about. The Iowa dairy farmer about a month ago did this video where he's laughing about the fact that he sends his dairy cows to slaughter when they can no longer produce enough milk to be profitable. He's pointing to each of his dairy cows saying whopper, 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 calling them whoppers. How vile. And then you can see this commenter. See at the bottom? This person commented, making me go vegan. Making me go vegan. So even this consumer was disgusted by this dairy farmer laughing about the fact that he sends his dairy cows to slaughter when they can no longer produce enough milk to be profitable. And this is standard practice in the dairy industry. This is what just about every dairy farmer does. If not every dairy farmer. These dairy farmers to send those dairy cows to slaughter when they can no longer produce enough milk. And then they're turned into burgers. Yeah, ground beef. Wouldn't you like to know? Yeah, just like other people have a bunch of TikTok accounts to harass me. Yeah, well, I could play that game too. I could create a bunch of accounts too. And I don't use those accounts as backup accounts, I hope you know. Yeah, I don't just use them. So good one. So that's one I'm already in contact with TikTok support, and they want me to give them all of the accounts of people who are harassing me. But oh my God, that list would just go on for days. But this is one because, you know, this one face for a profile picture. So that's a good one to send to TikTok to let them know that they're harassing me. So I can get my other account where my one account, my live stream is banned. So I can get it back up once I prove to them that these people who are harassing the fuck out of me, they're the ones who are reporting my account. So that's not fair. That's not fair. These people shouldn't even be on here. You should not be allowed to harass and bully people. I'm literally here just stating facts. I mean, yeah, that is a fact. That's cruel to make fun of the fact that you're sending these animals who have made you money year after year after year for like 5-6 years. Send them to a slaughterhouse when they can no longer produce enough milk to be profitable, and then fucking make a TikTok laughing about that? That is cruel. That is cruel. That is disgusting. That behavior should not be allowed on this platform. I don't bully anybody. I don't bully anyone. I'm just stating facts. I mean, that's pretty fucked up that somebody would literally laugh at the fact they're sending their animals to a slaughterhouse. That is fucked up. That is fucked up. It's true. True story. And I literally state facts about the animal agriculture industry. I should right now be able to show you slaughterhouse footage. You know, because you're all paying for this to happen. The reason why there's slaughterhouse footage for you to see is because you're literally paying for these animals to be slaughtered. So you should have to see what you're paying for. But it's interesting that, like, right now, if I, showed the standard practices of the animal agriculture industry, it's standard practice to chop the fucking heads off of animals. Standard practice. My account would be banned just because I'm showing people what's actually happening to their victims. Because people just want to be like, oh, but vegans are rude. Like, they're so pushy and mean. And like, why don't they just leave us alone and just let us eat our food? Because it's not food. It's not food. What you're actually eating is the body parts of victims of the worst atrocity in history. This atrocity is so bad, it is literally causing the 6th mass extinction. And yet, for anybody watching that might not have seen this before, this is the number of animals that are slaughtered every single minute of every single day around the globe. Every single minute of every single day. This is the number of animals being slaughtered. Almost 90,000 chickens per minute being slaughtered. Over 2,000 pigs per minute being slaughtered on a never-ending basis. On a never-ending basis. And you think I'm the bad guy? I'm the bad guy simply because I want you to stop paying people to hack the heads off of animals? I'm the bad guy? How is that? How am I the bad guy because I want people to stop sexually violating animals? I want people to stop stealing babies off of their mothers. I want people to stop hacking the heads off of innocent creatures over their food preferences. How does that make me a bad person? How does that make me a bad person, really? Seriously. Like, if you see nothing wrong with, like, stealing babies off their mothers, if you see nothing wrong with artificially inseminating animals so you can eat their babies and so that you can consume their baby stolen baby food, then yeah, maybe you need to go work on these farms, masturbating the animals, masturbating the bulls in the dairy industry, forcing their semen into those dairy cows to get them pregnant. Maybe you need to be the one who steals their baby off of them and puts them on a transport truck to send them off to a slaughterhouse. Maybe you should go work in that slaughterhouse. Better yet, go work in the slaughterhouse where they're about what's happening to these animals. Like, if you're going to continue to consume cheese, if you're going to continue to consume milk, I mean, yeah, that's the very least I would want people to do. Like, make you, a dairy consumer, work in this slaughterhouse killing these little babies yourself, since you see nothing wrong with it, since you want to continue to consume their baby food. Yeah, you should have to work in this slaughterhouse killing these little babies yourself. Seriously. And if you say, no, I wouldn't do that, I wouldn't work in a slaughterhouse, then you need to go vegan. You need to go vegan. You need to go vegan. Because, if you hire a hitman to kill somebody, you get caught, you're going to be charged with murder. So yeah, it doesn't matter whether you actually kill these babies with your own hands or not. They are being killed because of your choices, because of the choices that you are making, like every few hours of every day. It's not just like, oh, on Thanksgiving I have some turkey. I mean, that's bad enough. You shouldn't be eating animals at all. But what is really truly mind-blowing is the fact that most people can't even imagine one fucking meal that doesn't contain an animal's body part, or something that came out of a bird shit encrusted ass vagina, or a cow's infected udder. And yeah, see, I don't believe in God. I mean, I can't say that he's not real, but if there is a God, it's almost like this whole world has to be a fucking test, because it doesn't make sense. If there is a God, it doesn't make sense what's going on in the world. Like, doesn't make sense at all, unless we're just all being tested. And non-vegans are failing that test miserably. I'm not religious, but good does exist. Evil, unfortunately, does exist. And I am vegan because I am against evil. That is why I'm vegan, because I am against evil. And again, if the same thing's being done to these animals, if they were done to humans, they would in fact be crimes of rape, kidnapping, theft, and murder. Yeah, it is blasphemous. It is blasphemous for these Christians to say that God put animals here for us to eat. That is blasphemous to say that. Thou shalt not kill is a commandment. And again, I'm not religious, but that commandment does resonate with me. Even though I'm not religious, that commandment does resonate with me. Thou shalt not kill. Yeah, I don't think we should go over. I don't even think we should kill plants. I don't even think we should kill plants. That's why I think we should be fruitarians. We should be eating mostly fruits, nuts, and seeds. But see, like, the good thing about chickpeas, because I love chickpeas, those chickpeas are not harvested until after the crop dies. It's like a biannual or annual, and it dies. It dies and dries out. And then after the plant actually dies on its own, then it's harvested. Then the chickpeas are harvested. You see? So, yeah, I don't have to be a doctor to tell you what is stated by doctors. To tell you I don't have to be a doctor to tell you what is stated. And I'll show you right now. Yeah, I don't have to be a doctor to tell you what is stated on the American Institute for Cancer Research's webpage. This is a screenshot. This is a screenshot of what is stated on the American Institute for Cancer Research's webpage regarding plant-based diets. No single food can protect you against cancer by itself, but research shows that a diet filled with a variety of vegetables, fruits, whole grains, beans, and other plant foods helps lower risk for many cancers. In laboratory studies, many individual minerals, vitamins, and phytochemicals demonstrate anti-cancer effects. And that list of foods that help fight cancer from the American Institute for Cancer Research, they are all plant-based foods on that list. There is no meat, there is no dairy, there is no eggs, there is not even any seafood items on this list of foods that help fight cancer. What is on this list is fruits, vegetables, berries, beans, grains, legumes, even soy Even soy is on this list of foods that help fight cancer. And the soy that is used in the plant-based meat alternatives is the GMO-free soy, the genetically modified soy. That is what they feed livestock. And yeah, let me Mayo Clinic's website. This is on the Mayo Clinic's website. Researchers asked nearly 70,000 volunteers about their diets, then tracked them over time. They found lower cancer rates among people who didn't eat meat at all. In fact, vegans, those who don't eat any animal products, including fish, dairy, or eggs, appear to have the lowest rates of cancer of any diet. The leading cause of death around the globe. Whether you're considering eating less meat or giving it up entirely, the benefits are clear. Less risk of disease and improved health and well-being. Specifically, less meat decreases the risk of heart disease, stroke, obesity, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, type 2 diabetes, and many cancers. So the more meat you eat, the more risk you have of all of these very common and very deadly diseases. The less meat you eat, the less risk you have. So why harm animals at all if there's no need to? And you could actually be much healthier for it. Help save the planet in the process, because animal agriculture is destroying the planet and it is causing the 6th mass extinction. Animal agriculture is the leading cause of deforestation, species extinction, water pollution, water depletion, ocean dead zones, ocean plastics, fisheries depletion, pandemics, world hunger, and climate change. And then let me show you what's on the National Kidney Foundation's webpage. And this is what's stated on the National Kidney Foundation's webpage. Eating more plant-based foods such as vegetables and grains in place of animal-based foods such as red meat may help prevent and slow the progression of chronic kidney disease, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and heart disease. Yeah, so I don't have to be a doctor to just state what's on these web pages. It doesn't matter what else it says. The whole point is you don't have to eat animals to be healthy, and a plant-based diet actually can prevent diseases, can significantly reduce your risk of so many very common and very deadly diseases. That's a fact. You don't need to know anything more. Yeah, maybe if you consume just small amounts of animal products, maybe that's not going to really increase your risk of many diseases. But for one thing, most people, like I know back when I used to consume animal products, I was eating a lot. I mean, like for breakfast, I'd just eat like bacon and eggs. Like my whole plate is just animal-based thing. There's like no fruits, no veg, nothing. So my diet before going vegan was heavily animal-based. Maybe you can eat small amounts of meat, maybe small amounts of dairy, and not significantly, or, you know, increase your risk of those diseases by that much. But it's like, why put an animal through the hell of a slaughterhouse when over and over again there's studies and studies that show that a plant-based diet is the best diet for our health, and we can get all the nutrients we need without harming animals? So why harm an animal just because you can, just because you can get away with it, just because it tastes good to you after that slaughtered gore is doused with herbs and spices, which, yeah, herbs and spices are vegan. So yeah, if that meat is actually so tasty, then yeah, maybe you should just stop putting seasonings on it. If it's so tasty. Yeah, KFC would not be tasty at all if it wasn't for the secret recipe. KFC's secret recipe consists of 11 herbs and spices. Herbs and spices are vegan. So yeah, that delicious flavor that you get when you go to KFC isn't coming from that bird that marinated in a shit-filled shed for 6 weeks. And that secret recipe consists of 11 herbs and spices. Well, if you have no interest in going vegan, you don't have to be here. Yeah, you don't have to be here at all. You don't even have to waste your time making a comment. Because guess what? Your comment means shit to me. I mean, I've been doing this for every day for over 7 years. Going on 8 years now. Advocating for animals every single day. Every single day. And yeah, I've been on TikTok since what, December of 2020? Started going live, I think, in like April or May of 2021. And been going live every single day ever since. And sometimes I go live, I get like 40,000 viewers on just one live stream. That's like maybe 2 hours at the most. One time I had like 60,000 people view my live stream. And I'm nobody. But I'm getting the vegan word out there, the vegan message out there to lots and lots of people. Getting lots of people to consider ditching dead animals. Yeah, dead animals should be buried. That's what I do. That's what I do with dead animals. I bury them. I don't put them in my mouth. I do not put dead animals in my mouth. It's kind of creepy when you really think about it. Especially dead animals that literally marinated in a shit-filled shed. Yeah, because those animals on those store shelves, yeah, the chickens, this is standard practice of how those chickens are kept. By the thousands in overcrowded shit-filled sheds that are not cleaned. Those sheds are not cleaned during that whole 6-week period. So yeah, if you were to go into these sheds with these birds, the ammonia would overpower you. Burn your eyes, burn your lungs. And look at this bird right here. Literally crippled. Can't even get up. That's because these birds are bred to grow so fast and so abnormally large that they become crippled under their own weight. And there was even a TikToker on here that was raising Cornish hens, saying that she slaughters her Cornish hens at 8 weeks old because if they lived to 10 weeks out of her own mouth, they would be crippled. So she was acting like she was doing those birds a favor by sending them to slaughter at just 6 weeks old. 8 weeks old. Acting like she was doing them a favor. Anybody with a functioning brain cell could realize that that's animal abuse. Breeding a bird to grow so fast that they become crippled as babies, that is animal abuse. And thou shalt not kill is a commandment. We are not living in a time. Did Jesus kill those fish? Where's your proof? Where's your proof with what? Where's your proof? Just because a man-made book said, a man-made book says so, you believe anything and everything? There's a lot of things that are said in that Bible. People can, sell their children off to be sex slaves. If you're gonna, take the Bible for its word. A lot of things that, whoa, it's like, whoa, no, that shit can't be happening. It's just funny that you Christians never pick out anything in the Bible that, encourages peace and justice and fairness and kindness. The golden rule, thou shalt not kill. And Genesis 1:29 on the very first page of the Bible, and God said, behold, I have given you every herb-bearing seed which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed, to you it shall be for meat. Why do you ignore that? Why do you ignore the fact that God actually, if there is a God and the Bible's true, why does that passage not mean anything to you? We're not living in a time where there was a catastrophic flood that wiped out all the vegetation and we're struggling to survive. We have never lived in a time where we have access to so many plant-based food options as we do nowadays. And it's proven over and over again that the plant-based options are so much healthier and so much more environmentally sustainable. It doesn't matter what my stance on abortion is. I have never been pregnant. And I do not perform abortions, and I do not pay people to perform abortions. See, I have nothing to do with abortion. Nothing to do with abortion. So it really doesn't matter what my stance is, because I have nothing to do with it. But if you're not vegan, you are literally funding an industry that sexually violates animals to force them to reproduce. You literally are funding an industry. Prove it to you. This is a screenshot of an instructional video taken from the pork industry demonstrating how they collect semen from male animals. She is literally masturbating that animal to sexually stimulate him, to get him to ejaculate, to steal his semen, to force it into the vaginas of unconsenting female pigs, to impregnate them, for the sinister purpose of stealing their babies from them, mutilating them, cutting their tails off, cutting those little baby piglets' ears and teeth, castrating the males without any anesthesia or any pain relievers, and then forcing them all into a slaughterhouse at just 6 months old when they could actually live over 7 years. You literally care more about cows than human children. Well, it is a crime to sexually assault a human, but this isn't a crime. It's perfectly fine for farmers to sexually assault animals. It's so twisted that they call this artificial insemination. Yeah, the semen collection process for that so-called artificial insemination process. They literally are masturbating this pig. So even if this pig did give consent, this is still bestiality. And if you're a Christian, you should look at what your Bible says about bestiality and what the punishment for bestiality should be. And yeah, they're literally taking this semen from this boar and they're going to shove it into the vaginas of unconsenting female pigs to impregnate them, to steal their babies, to hack those babies to pieces inside of a slaughterhouse. Yeah, see, this is an atrocity you're directly funding all day, every day, for every single non-vegan product you consume. And then you're like, what's your stance on abortion? Well, again, I've never been pregnant. I do not perform abortions. I do not pay people to perform abortions. I have nothing to do with abortion. But if you're not vegan, you are certainly not pro-life. You might be pro-human embryo, but that's about it. Because I don't even think you really truly even care about children, because if you did, you wouldn't be stealing food out of their mouths and having that food sent off to the animal agriculture industry. Because that's what's happening. Grains grown in third world countries are being used to feed livestock. So privileged people in first world countries can eat meat and dairy products, while 1 billion people in third world countries starve. True story. And yeah, this is proof that I would be crazy if I wasn't vegan. Yeah, this is proof that I would absolutely be insane if I wasn't vegan. Because if I wasn't vegan, that would mean that I was literally supporting this behavior. See, if I wasn't vegan, if I was not vegan, and I was literally consuming animal products, that would mean that I was giving money to this industry to hire this person to masturbate this animal, to collect his semen, to force that semen into the vaginas of unconsenting female animals so that I can eat bacon, so that I can eat these animals' babies. Yeah, that would make me crazy, definitely. See, I eat plant-based chicken nuggets. Plant-based nuggets I eat. They actually taste better, believe it or not. Yeah, believe it or not, the plant-based nuggets actually taste better than the nuggets made from a rotting chicken carcass of a chicken that literally marinated in a shit-filled shed for 6 weeks. In such filth, they had to be given antibiotics. Imagine that. Imagine that. Yeah, FFA literally sexual, or no, well, yeah. I mean, I'm sure they teach. I wonder if there's any videos about the FFA teaching the children how to do the artificial. Maybe that's what I got to look into. Are there any videos of the FFA, them teaching the children how to artificially inseminate the animals, to collect the male semen? Yeah, do they have any of those videos teaching those children how to sexually violate animals? Yeah. The FFA literally is psychologically abusing children, making them think it's okay to send their friends off to a slaughterhouse. These animals are emotional creatures. They are thinking, feeling, emotional beings that these children raise for the purpose of selling them off to be slaughtered for their meat, for their flesh. These children get attached to these animals, and I've seen many TikToks, many of those goodbye FFA videos, 4-H videos where the kids are saying goodbye to their pigs and lambs and cattle, sending them off to a slaughterhouse. And yeah, I remember the one girl, she was sending her pig off to slaughter in like a week from that date that she made the post. And she's like, he's my best friend. You know, and she's like crying like this is her best friend. She's calling this pig her best friend and saying how she's sad because in a week she was going to have to send him off to be slaughtered. And I was like, why don't you just send him to an animal sanctuary? Call your local news. Tell them what you're doing. You're going to send your friend to a sanctuary instead of a slaughterhouse. And they'll probably do a story on it. And that story will probably go viral. Then she was saying, oh, he's going to taste so good. So one minute she's like crying over the fact that she has to send her best friend to be slaughtered. And then the next minute she's like laughing about the fact, oh, he's going to taste so good. So yeah, that's kind of crazy. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. But yeah, like I said, they're literally psychologically screwing with those children's brains. That should be child abuse. That should be a crime. That should be a crime what they're doing to the, not just what they're doing to the animals, but what they're doing to the children. Teaching them how to gain someone's trust and then totally betray them in the worst way imaginable. Having those animals like think that these kids are their friends, and then they are literally sent to a fucking slaughterhouse. Not just sent, like, you know, it would be bad enough, like, you know, having kittens or puppies that you had to give away to somebody else to take care of, you know, like somebody, their dog ended up getting pregnant and they're like, oh my God, we got 8 puppies now and I can't take care of all these puppies. And, you know, they have to give the puppies away, but they're literally giving them to somebody to like care for the rest of their lives, to love on and take for walks and all this day after day for the rest of their lives for like the next 15 years. And they're sad and heartbroken about that. But just imagine, like, instead of sending them off to live with another family, they're literally sending these animals to a fucking slaughterhouse to have their heads hacked off. And these kids are literally bawling their eyes out. And then, like, the one person I came across their comment, they were literally saying like years ago they had to send their lamb to slaughter. And still to this day, when they think about it, they cry about it. Yes, I hate animal abusers. I do hate animal abusers. I'm not going to hide that fact that I hate the fact, yeah, like, oh, like I'm supposed to like this shit? No, I hate this shit. Spewing hate? No, I'm just saying, like, sexually assaulting animals, that's not right. And yeah, I do hate violence. I do hate violence. I do hate people who commit violent acts against innocent creatures and act like they're not doing any. They themselves are the ones acting like they're the victims. That's some fucking bullshit right there. Victimizers who are literally doing such awful things to other creatures that would be acts of rape, kidnapping, theft, and murder if committed against our own species. And they're like, oh, no, it's perfectly fine because they're not human. And you stop bullying me. Like, you're not the victim. You're the victimizer. And you should not be on this app. That Iowa dairy farmer, you talk about someone who needs to be banned. He needs to be banned. He is literally sexually violating animals right on frickin' this app. How the fuck does he get away with that shit? But I can't just, because you're supposed to be able to raise awareness, use this app to raise awareness, and that's what I'm doing. The reason why I'm showing you this is because most people don't even know what's happening. They don't even know what's happening. But this is standard practice. This is standard practice in the animal agriculture industry, throughout the animal agriculture industry. They call it artificial insemination. And they're literally masturbating animals to collect their semen for that so-called artificial insemination process to take place. This should absolutely, without a doubt, be a crime, because it would absolutely be a crime if the same things are being done to humans. And the reason why I'm bringing this to your attention is because most people don't know what's happening. And I would hope that once people do become aware of the fact that these animals are being sexually violated to produce all of those animal products that are on store shelves, they will do the right thing and they will stop supporting this industry so that this will come to an end. Because I want this to come to an end. This needs to come to an end. It's not going to come to an end if nobody even knows that it's going on. It's not going to come to an end if these farmers can literally get away with it without people even knowing it's taking place. Because obviously the farmers think it's a fucking joke. And you should see the Iowa dairy farmer's last video where he's literally sexually violating a dairy cow, and the disgusting music he has playing while he is sexually violating this animal. Oh my God. Yeah, if there's such a thing as humane slaughter, then I guess there's such a thing as humane rape and humane robbery and humane kidnapping. That's craziness. And yeah, if it was so humane, like right now, if I was to pull up Temple Grandin's humane slaughter method, if I was to show you footage right now of an animal being slaughtered according to Temple Grandin's humane slaughter method, my live stream would be removed for containing violent and graphic content. How is it humane when I can't even show you it without it being removed for containing violent and graphic content? So that's just nonsense. That's just nonsense. Humane slaughter. I can't even show you an animal being humanely slaughtered without my account being banned. Because, yeah, it's so humane that I can't even show it to you. So, yeah, I think I'm going to sign off a little early tonight because I can't just keep going on 5 hours of sleep every night. I would love to just advocate for animals 24/7, seriously. you know, sleep deprivation is not healthy. Just like eating animals and their secretions, that's not healthy. It's also not healthy to be chronically sleep deprived. And it's not that I can't fall asleep. It's just me actually getting off this fucking app and getting my ass into bed. It's just hard for me to stop going because look at these numbers of animals that are being slaughtered every minute. And this does not stop. So when I go to sleep tonight, this is going to continue. This slaughter at this rate is going to continue throughout the night, throughout every day, throughout every night for the rest of my life until, you know, the world goes vegan. I mean, this isn't right. This is not right what we're doing to these animals. This is not right. So for every single non-vegan product you consume, an animal is literally losing their life, literally being sentenced to death over your food preferences. For all of those non-vegan food choices you're making, these animals are literally losing their lives. Thank you for that. I don't see how anybody can think it's okay to execute someone over a meal. Execute someone over a meal. Like people think, you know, terrorists are evil. Terrorists, they're evil. Look at them going around chopping people's heads off. But then you literally pay people to chop the heads of animals off every few hours of every day. For every single non-vegan product, even for dairy products, you're literally having animals' heads chopped off. A baby calf, their head chopped off if they're a boy. The dairy cows themselves sent to slaughter, their heads chopped off when they can no longer produce enough milk to be profitable. Even the egg-laying hens, their heads chopped off. When they can no longer produce enough eggs to be profitable, they are sent to slaughter because those birds are actually forced to produce as much as 10 times more eggs than is natural. So that puts a lot of stress on their bodies. So by the time they're just a year and a half of age, they can no longer produce that amount of eggs. So then they become useless to the egg industry and they're sent to slaughter. They have their heads hacked off. So even for eggs, you're having an animal's head hacked off and little male chicks ground up alive because at the hatcheries, where all of those egg-laying hens come from, they cannot determine the sex of the chicks until they hatch. So upon hatching, they sort the males and they put them through a macerator, which grinds them up alive. Why do vegans have crazy eyes? Well, yeah, I am just someone who is ready to just flip my lid because I'm doing this all day long. Like even when I'm not on my live stream, I'm typically going on and off TikTok all day long, looking at comments. And like today I was on the Iowa Dairy Farmers webpage, or not webpage, but his TikTok account, you know, in the comment section of the TikTok video that he just posted the other day where he's literally sexually violating a dairy cow and acting like, oh, look, she's not resisting. Well, yeah, sometimes sexual assault victims don't resist, but that does not mean that it's not sexual assault. Because the victim doesn't resist doesn't mean that it's okay to sexually violate them. And I know why he's doing these things to these dairy cows. He's doing this for the sinister purpose of impregnating them to get them to start lactating. So, he can hook them up to a milking machine to steal their baby's baby food. While their baby, if those babies are boys, are being sent to a slaughterhouse to be killed. So it's not being done. He's acting like he's doing, these farmers act like they're doing these things to these animals to help them. They're not. They're a bunch of liars. They're not artificially inseminating animals for that animal's interest. They're doing it for their own financial interests. And they're literally sending all of the male calves off to be slaughtered. They even send the dairy cows off to be slaughtered when they can no longer produce enough milk to be profitable. And this Iowa dairy farmer guy, he literally a month ago made a TikTok laughing about the fact that he sends his dairy cows to slaughter when they can no longer produce enough milk to make him money. pointing at them, calling them whoppers. Whopper, whopper, whopper. Making a joke out of it. How disgusting. Just about anything and everything comes in a plant-based version. Oh, so it's okay to commit atrocities for the economy? Are you kidding me? This is an atrocity, and this is not just an atrocity by the mere numbers of victims, like billions of victims in this industry on like an almost daily basis. We're talking billions. Well, actually, when it, like right now, there are about 30 billion animals being raised for their flesh and secretions. 30 billion animals, like right at this moment. 20 billion chickens right at this moment being raised for their flesh and secretions. And most of these birds are in these overcrowded, shit-filled sheds that are not clean during that whole 6-week period that they're being raised for their flesh. So if you were to go into those sheds that house those chickens, your eyes would burn, your lungs would be burning because of the ammonia from the excrement that those birds are forced to live in because those sheds are not cleaned for that whole 6-week period. Once they round up all the birds in those sheds and send them to slaughter, then they clean the sheds, put fresh litter down, and bring the new flock of birds in. They live in deplorable, and even the dairy, look at the Iowa dairy farmers, or look at better yet, look at my last video, because it's a stitch of that video. My last video is a stitch of the Iowa dairy farmer's last video, where he's sexually violating a dairy cow. And you should listen to that disgusting song that he's playing as he's sexually violating this dairy cow, acting like it's no big deal because look, she's not resisting. As if, you know, a victim of sexual assault, like if they're not resisting, then it's not sexual assault then. Then look, see, she doesn't mind. She doesn't mind because look, she's not resisting. And I know why he's doing this to these dairy cows, because he wants to impregnate them because they have to be pregnant before they will start to lactate. And then when they give birth, these dairy farmers literally take those newborn babies from their mothers soon after they're born. Within hours after those calves are born, they take them from their mothers. Why do they take those babies from their mothers so soon? So that they don't bond with one another. How sick is that? Keeping a mother and her baby from bonding. That is so sick and evil. And all for the sinister purpose of taking that food that belongs to that baby and selling it to ignorant humans. Yeah, see, this industry relies on consumers remaining ignorant. They want the consumers to be ignorant to what they're doing. Because they know once consumers wise the fuck up, they'll go vegan. They'll go vegan. Once they wise the fuck up, they'll go vegan. No, I'm just someone who has sense enough to know that it's not okay to like force semen into somebody without their consent. Someone who's wise enough to know that it's a pretty fucked up evil thing to take someone's baby from them for the evil purpose of stealing their baby's baby food and selling it to make money because, oh, we're just too lazy. Yeah, sloth, that's why the sin of sloth is a deadly sin. Yeah, these farmers too lazy to do the right thing and go vegan and transition into plant-based food production. Well, there's some farmers that are doing it. Some farmers have already transitioned. There's some like chicken farmers who are now growing hemp. Other chicken farmers that are now growing mushrooms instead of raising animals for their flesh. Dairy farmers who are now producing plant-based milk and cheeses. Cattle ranchers who are turning their cattle ranches into animal sanctuaries. So you're saying we should ask a cow if we can have her milk. What I am saying is that your a human. You're supposed to be a civilized human. You should understand that it is not okay to forcibly impregnate somebody, okay? You should understand that it is wrong to steal somebody's baby off of them. And you should know that it's wrong to hook somebody up to a milking machine to suck their baby's baby food out of their body, especially if that baby's a boy and that baby's literally being sent to a fucking slaughterhouse because of it. They slaughter all of the male calves born to those dairy cows because the dairy industry has no use for the male calves. So after they forcibly impregnate those dairy cows, because every dairy cow has to be pregnant. Every dairy cow has to be pregnant. See this number of cows and calves here being killed per minute of every day across the globe? Almost 600. Yeah, this also includes dairy cows and those male calves that I'm talking about, born to those dairy cows. This is how many cattle, how many bovines are killed per minute, every minute of every day. Those dairy cows, when they can no longer produce enough milk, they are sent to slaughter. That typically happens at about 5 years of age when they can live over 20 years. The male calves born to those dairy cows, they are slaughtered. Most of them are slaughtered for veal at just a few weeks of age. But even if they're sold to the beef industry, beef cattle are slaughtered at just 1 year old. And again, they can live over 20 years, but they're slaughtered at just 1 year old. None of those male calves born to those dairy cows live to see their second birthday. Most of them don't even live to see their first birthday, nowhere near it. But again, none of them, unless a vegan rescues them and takes them to an animal sanctuary, none of those male calves live to see their second birthday. So yeah, check out my latest TikTok video. Again, the last one I posted is a stitch of the Iowa dairy farmer's latest video where he is sexually violating a dairy cow and acting like it's no big deal because look, she's not resisting. She's not resisting. She's not resisting. As if, you know, if some human is being sexually violated, if, you know, they don't resist, then it's not sexual assault. It's not rape. If they don't resist, then no, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong happening. That's how twisted this guy is. That's how twisted these farmers are. You know, like they'll show dairy cows out in a field and be like, oh, look at them. Do they look like they're being abused? I mean, that would be like a freaking child molester at an amusement park with a child. And that child's having fun. And that child molester saying, hey, look at that kid having fun. Does it look like he's being abused? And then like later on that night, yeah, he is going to be abused. But because he's enjoying himself during the day at an amusement park, oh, look at him having fun, enjoying his day. See, he's not being abused at all. That's the mentality of these people. And that's why I'm going crazy. That's why I can't control my expressions and my eyes are just like, oh, because I can't believe people don't get this shit. Like, what is going on? What is going on? Like, you can't freaking see the truth. And it's like right there in fucking front of you. Right there in front of you. All the information you ever need to know of why you need to go vegan and why you need to go vegan right now is right there in front of you. Right there in your hand. On that phone. Just look through my videos. Just look through my videos. You'll understand why you need to go vegan. And all you have to do to determine if something is right or wrong is determine if you want that same thing done to you. If humans were being massacred at the rate these animals are being massacred, we would go extinct in a matter of days. Especially if you look at the number of marine animals being killed per minute, every minute of every day. Look at that number of marine animals being slaughtered every single minute. of every day. Like if humans were being slaughtered at the rate that these animals are being slaughtered, we would go extinct in a matter of days. That's how horrific this atrocity is. And it's all over a meal preference because you don't want to go vegan because you don't want to, look up vegan recipes right here on TikTok. You don't want to waste your time doing that. You'd rather just continue eating slaughtered gore. Yeah, because that's what we should start calling meat. Animal flesh. We should start calling it slaughtered gore. I think that's a better name for it. Slaughtered gore. Or slaughterhouse gore. Maybe that would be a better term. Slaughterhouse gore. I got that off of Plutarch. Yeah. He abstained from eating animals. So yeah, veganism isn't a new concept. It's not. More animals get killed for your tofu. Guess what? Most of the soybean crop grown is actually grown to feed livestock. And most of the soybean crop that's grown is GMO. And GMOs are killing off the bees and the butterflies. I do not consume GMOs. And most of the plant-based meat alternatives that are made with soy, they're made with the GMO-free soy. I don't consume genetically modified foods. But see, the animals whose flesh and secretions you consume, they are being fed genetically modified corn and or genetically modified soy. That corn and that soy is genetically modified so that it can be sprayed with Roundup so that that crop does not die, but every single plant around that crop does die. Like all the little, what they call weeds that literally produce little flowers that the bees and the butterflies get their nectar from, those plants are killed. So then that's killing off the bees and the butter, not just the fact that the Roundup is toxic to the bees and the butterflies itself, but the fact that the Roundup is literally killing off all the weeds that actually produce flowers that are nectar and pollen sources for the bees and the butterflies. Is my hair vegan? Are you saying I don't dye my hair? My hair, like I've got gray hairs coming through. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. My hair is vegan. But yeah, so the Roundup is doing a number on the bees and the butterflies. And I don't consume GMOs. I don't consume anything that's sprayed with any kind of fucking chemicals. It's like, get that shit away from me. Get that shit away from me. There are products on the store shelves that are actually sourced from veganic farmers. One Degree is a brand that sources all of its ingredients from veganic farmers. There are farmers, organic farmers, who use non-lethal methods of pest control. Yeah, it's not a requirement to kill animals in crop production. But just know that more crops are being killed. Or sorry, more animals are being killed in crop production to produce the crops needed to feed the animals whose flesh and secretions you consume. Yeah, it's just weird that you want to come to the defense of bean sprouts. That is so weird that you want to come to the defense of bean sprouts, but you don't want to come like you don't want to come to the defense of an animal who literally has emotions, who literally has a personality, who literally feels depressed when they lose a sibling. Like, you don't want to come to this piglet's defense that's literally suffering inside of a factory farm, being mutilated, having his tail cut off, his ear clipped, his teeth clipped, without any pain relievers. You don't want to come to this little baby's defense, but you want to come to a fucking bean sprout's defense. And then you wonder why my head is about to explode. Then people are like, why are your eyes like about to like pop out of your head? Because my head is about to explode because this is so crazy that I have to deal with this shit. And it's not funny. You might think, I understand that there are some people out there who are literally just trying to be funny. You know, maybe they don't want to think too much of this because it will hurt their heart to think about what's happening to these animals. So they just instantly want to just make a joke about everything so that they don't let this sink into them. So they'll say, oh, but what about bean sprouts? What about bean sprouts? But seriously, if you have seen the things that I have seen, you would understand why my head is about to explode when someone comes to the defense of a bean sprout, but doesn't want to come to the defense of these sentient little baby animals. It just, yeah, my head is about to explode. My eyes are about to pop out of my fucking face because this is just like driving me crazy that people don't see it. The whole world should be vegan by now. Well, certainly a lot more than, you know, what is, like, they say 1% of the population is human. Yeah, maybe that's the problem. Maybe all these other people are just bots. They're not human. There really are just 1% of people on the planet who are really human, and everybody else is just a bunch of bots, with no soul. Maybe that's it. But no. It's estimated that 1% of the human population is vegan. And it just blows my mind. Like, especially in this day and age when everybody should know how their food is being produced, what these animals are being put through to produce those animal products. The fact that it's not even necessary to consume animal products, that actually a whole foods plant-based diet is the best diet, and that there are so many delicious vegan foods, like endless vegan options that are so delicious and so much healthier. And the fact that animal agriculture is destroying the planet, like all of these things. I mean, the world should be vegan by now. At least 50% of the human population should be vegan by now. At least 50%. So it just blows my mind that so few people are vegan, and that my whole entire comment section is just filled with such hate. And I don't care of you hating me. That's not the problem. It's like, I'm literally here simply trying to convince people to stop hurting animals. And it makes me mad that nobody wants to come to the defense of these animals. But they want to come to the defense of a bean sprout. Whether they're just trying to be funny, but seriously, there are people who seriously, I'm telling you, there are people who see, like my husband's like, no, they're just playing with you. Don't worry about they're just, you know, they're just playing with you. But I'm like, no, you don't understand. Some of these people are fucking dead serious. Now, maybe that bean sprout comment, maybe that's just somebody trying to be funny, but you're not being funny. We're talking about an atrocity. If I was talking about, you know, a school shooting, can you imagine somebody cracking jokes? Like 17 children just got shot up in this school. And then somebody, oh, look at all the bean sprouts that got killed today. I mean, that's how fucking ignorant people are. You think you're being funny, but you're not. You're not. It's like, all I'm saying, I can't make you go vegan, because if I could, believe me, I would make you stop hurting animals. I would. Obviously, like if I could make people stop hurting children, yes, I would make people stop hurting children. The people who are harming children, I would make you stop if I could, but I can't. Just like the people harming animals, I would make you stop if I could, but I can't. But I would hope at the very least in the search box right here on TikTok, you would put 2 words in the search box right here on TikTok. Vegan recipes, right in the search box. Vegan recipes. Look up those vegan recipes, and start following some of these creators who post vegan recipes, and you'll see there are endless vegan options. And I'm telling you, vegan food is so delicious, and it's so much healthier, and so much more environmentally sustainable. Gross. So you're telling me you don't like any fruits, you don't like any vegetables. Well, actually, I never used to like vegetables. I used to say my favorite vegetable was corn. And corn isn't a vegetable, it's a grain. But I used to say corn was my favorite vegetable because I never liked, well, maybe raw carrots. I don't even like cooked carrots. Maybe raw carrots might be like, and maybe like celery sticks. But yeah, like broccoli, ugh, cauliflower. Oh my God. I was so mad this one time when I went to this vegan restaurant and my husband was like, here, try some of these Brussels sprouts. And I'm like, get those nasty fucking things away from me. They are so nasty. I am not going to try one of those. And he's like, no, try. And I'm like, I was getting so mad at him. I'm like, stop pushing these things on me. They're so damn nasty. And he was really making me mad because he's like, here, try it. It's really good. Try. And I'm like, no, they're freaking nasty. And then finally I gave in and I tried it. And I was like, what the fuck? This is pretty good. Yeah, because they were like roasted, like, you know, never had anybody in my life actually make me like roasted. And like when you roast these things, they like cauliflower, it brings out the sweetness in them and they taste amazing. Like right now, I could literally snack on cauliflower. Roast it, put some sage oil on it, some hemp seeds, some salt and pepper. I can literally just snack on these vegetables. Once you know how to make them right, they're fucking delicious. Green beans even. Never used to eat green beans, but I can snack on them too. I drink white tea and green tea. I certainly don't drink enough water because my mind is just all over the place and I'm like, I need to drink more water. But I do drink tea. I drink green tea and white tea. Well, they have vegan beef jerky. Now, I did try one brand that wasn't so good. The last brand, I don't know, it was from Whole Foods. It's not the Whole Foods brand, but they have like 5 different vegan jerkies. The last one I did try, not going to get that again. But there was one, because I never used to eat that even before I went vegan. But I remember there was one that I did try that I was like, yeah, that's pretty addictive. I just like ate the whole freaking bag. I couldn't stop. So yeah, I mean, like I said, just the least you could do is put vegan recipes in the search box. Look up some vegan recipes right here on TikTok. Try some vegan products. You know, when you go to the grocery store, at least try 1 or 2 things every time you go. And oh my God. Inuit people don't have the option of veganism. No, that's not necessarily true. But guess what? Inuit people have, like, their lifespan is like 10 years less than our lifespan. Humans or Americans on the sad diet, on like a shitty sad diet, Americans have like a 10-year longer life expectancy than Inuits. And then higher IQs too. And that's just factual information. We have longer life expectancies and higher IQs. Plant foods are brain foods. Carbohydrates feed your brain. The vegan cults. No, see, I used to be in a cult. I used to be in the animal killing cult, where I literally didn't think a meal was a meal unless an animal was killed for it. Yeah, I literally escaped the animal killing cult. But see, when I first escaped the animal killing cult, I was so effing brainwashed that I actually thought that I might not be able to stick with being vegan because I didn't think that I would be able to maintain my health because I was so brainwashed to thinking that being a vegan was like so unhealthy. But actually my health significantly improved, which most people do see health benefits when they go vegan. And you literally can significantly reduce your risk of cancer and heart disease on a plant-based diet. Heart disease and cancer, they're like 2 of the leading causes of death. And you can significantly reduce your risk by going vegan. and sticking to as close to a whole foods organic plant-based diet as possible. No, you don't have to eat meat. You don't have to eat meat. No, you don't. That's a bunch of bull. You don't have to eat meat. There are like 70,000 species of edible plants. So just about anywhere you live, unless maybe you live in Antarctica, yeah, there should be dozens and dozens of edible plants, if not hundreds or even thousands of edible plants that will grow on the land you live on. No, it has flavor. That's why you use herbs and spices. That's what gives the food all the flavor. That's what gives that slaughtered gore all the flavor, is the herbs and the spices that you season it with. The herbs and the spices are vegan. So again, like I said, I can't force you to go vegan, unfortunately. So the very least, just in the search box, put vegan recipes in the search box, and just start trying some vegan recipes. If you like to cook, if you don't like to cook, go to happycow.net, put in your city, and you will find vegan and vegan friendly restaurants in your area. So at least do that. You know, try some vegan options on these menus at these restaurants that you eat at. And I guarantee you're going to start finding vegan foods that you really like, and then you'll see, like, you're going to want more and more. And then you're going to see, like, when I first went vegan, when I finally said, like, that's it, like, after I found out what they did to the male chicks and the egg industry, how they grind them up alive because they can't determine the sex of the chicks until they hatch. So at the hatcheries where all egg-laying hens come from, when those eggs hatch and they sort them by sex, they take the males, they literally grind them up alive because the males are useless to the egg industry. And when I learned that, I was like, that's it. I'm going vegan. I just can't eat eggs anymore after that. I can't consume dairy now, knowing what they do to those male calves. I'm like, nope, going vegan. And once I finally did it, it was like, why the fuck did I not do this sooner? This was so freaking easy. Like, so easy. It's just a matter of just, you know, trying different things out. Trying different recipes. Trying different vegan options on these menus at these restaurants. And you'll see. There's so many delicious vegan options. You'll be surprised. And it's so much healthier, so much more environmentally sustainable. It literally makes no sense to not be vegan. And like I said, if you think it's okay to slaughter animals for food, you should have to work in a slaughterhouse killing these animals yourself. If you think it's okay to consume dairy products, you should work in a slaughterhouse killing those male calves yourself. Seriously. Oh, really? Well, that's not according to the American Institute for Cancer Research. That is not according to the World Health Organization. Yeah, just keep on making your excuses. So, like, even if it was healthy to eat meat, okay, which it's not, but let's just say that it was, are you saying it's unhealthy to consume a plant-based diet? Really? Are you really saying that? Are you saying that you can't be healthy on a plant-based diet? I mean, why are you trying to justify such extreme violence against such innocent creatures just for your meal preferences? It's so bizarre. It really is so bizarre that people are such advocates. They want to turn into like these hardcore advocates for animal cruelty. I'm an advocate for the animals, the victims, and you're like being an advocate for the victimizers, trying to come up with every reason to justify not harm, or trying to justify not harming animals. Like, you literally want to continue to harm animals and just try to, like, Okay, but meat doesn't cause cancer. So, yeah, I'm going to just continue to eat meat because it doesn't cause cancer. Even though, like, it's literally not vegans who are dying prematurely from colon cancer. It's not vegans who are, like, dropping dead by the thousands prematurely each day from heart attacks and strokes and all kinds of cancers. No, it's not vegans. I'm not saying you can't get cancer if you're vegan. I'm not saying you can't have a heart attack because, yeah, stress. Yeah, that's why I need to like get to bed, soon. I need to really I said like a half hour ago I was going to sign off. I really need to start getting off this app a lot sooner and getting some rest because, yeah, that's not good for your heart either to be severely sleep deprived and, so yeah, I'm not saying you, like, if you go vegan, you're guaranteed to not have a heart attack. You're guaranteed not to have a stroke. You're guaranteed to never get cancer. No, I'm just saying that you have a much less risk of getting cancer, heart disease, all of these very common and very deadly diseases if you go on a plant-based diet. You will significantly reduce your risk. You're not going to eliminate your risk, but you will significantly reduce your risk. I didn't say vegans don't have problems too, but you're going to have a lot less problems. A lot less problems. Yeah, it's just weird. People think like vegans are like, selfish and, vegans think they're so much better than everybody. Just because we don't think an animal should die for our food preferences. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Seriously, what the fuck? Why can't you just admit, like, yeah, what vegans are doing is the right thing? To refrain from harming an animal, that is the right thing to do. Why can't you just admit it? Like you're saying, no, we must harm animals. Those people who refrain from harming animals, those are bad people. The people who refrain from harming animals, they are bad people. And they're really bad when they try to convince other people to refrain from harming animals. No, you can very easily get all the nutrients you need on a vegan diet. And in case you don't know, most of the B12 supplements produced are actually given to livestock. True story. True story. Most of the B12 supplements produced are given to livestock. So it makes much more sense just to take a B12 supplement directly, which you can find at any grocery store. Like every grocery store has a supplements section. Even like Target, they have a whole section filled with supplements. And why is that? If so few people are vegan, like who's buying up all of these supplements anyway? If only 1% of the population is vegan, who the hell is buying up all of these shelves filled with supplements? If there's just so few vegans. Yeah, and guess what? Yeah, if you have a dog or a cat, look at the food you're feeding them. Look at the ingredients. Look at the ingredients. You're going to see that dog food, that cat food, loaded with supplements. Loaded with supplements. Yeah, the same supplements they use in the vegan cat food and in the vegan dog food. Yes, I like that vegan teacher. Why would I not like Miss Katie? Why would I not like her? She's advocating for the animals. She's not doing anything wrong. She's doing everything right. Maybe you don't like the way she advocates for the animals. Maybe you think she's kind of quirky or whatever. But if you don't like the way she advocates for animals, if you don't like the way I advocate for animals, why don't you become a vegan activist yourself? You start advocating for these animals and then tag us. Tag us in your videos. And show us how you think vegan activism should be done to convince more people to go vegan. Well, the first thing I would say to do is, like I've been saying a few times here during this live stream, is in the search box right here on TikTok. Just put 2 words in the search box. This will get you started. 2 words, vegan recipes. And you will come across endless vegan recipes right here on TikTok. There's so many creators that post vegan recipes. Look at who these people are. Look at their recipes and start following some of these people, and you'll see how very easy it is to be vegan. You might, have all the ingredients you need to make some of these recipes that you'll come across to start trying these things. And, I guarantee you're going to start liking these things, and you're going to see how easy it is to be vegan. Also, if you go to happycow.net, put in your city, you will find vegan and vegan-friendly restaurants near you. So you can start going there, and like if you ever go out to eat, just make sure you start going to places that have vegan options on the menu and start trying them, and you will see that vegan food is really delicious. Really delicious. I remember, like, before going vegan, when I first saw, like, at the time, it was called Loving Hut. Now they changed the name to the Vegan Kitchen. But it used to be called Loving Hut. And I remember when Loving Hut first opened up in my city. And I was like, oh, vegan. And I'm like, oh, it's probably like weird, expensive food. And I went in one day and tried something. And I was like, oh, that's not so bad. And then I went back and tried something else and liked that a lot more. And then came back again and tried something else. And it's like almost everything on the menu I love. And I mean, any other restaurant, there's probably like maybe 2 or 3 things I pick off the menu. But this vegan restaurant, almost everything. Like, I got to sit there and be like, oh, should I get that or that or that or that? I don't know. I want them all. So just start trying some of these vegan recipes. Try some of the menu options that are vegan. Also, grocery stores are filled with vegan foods. All fruits, all vegetables, beans, grains, legumes, nuts, seeds are vegan. Most pasta is vegan. Most cereal is vegan. There's all kinds of plant-based meat alternatives on the market. All kinds of plant-based burgers. There's even plant-based fish. I get these crab cakes, plant-based crab cakes from Whole Foods. They are delicious. Well, I was pushed into eating animals growing up. I wasn't even given the choice to be vegan growing up. I never even heard the word vegan growing up. So you want to talk about pushing an agenda. The animal killers are the ones pushing an agenda on people. Like, literally, they spend tens of millions, if not billions of dollars advertising. Like, did you ever notice during these commercial breaks? Like, sometimes I'll be watching TV and I'm not lying. Sometimes I'm watching TV and there will be like 5 ads during one commercial break alone, where you have like an Applebee's commercial, an Arby's commercial, a cheese commercial. All of these commercials just pushing animal products on people. Trying to like make people think, I want to get a bacon cheeseburger. Ice cream. Oh, I want to get some ice cream now. Oh, I want to go to Cold Stone and get some ice cream now after seeing that commercial. Yum. So they keep you thinking like this stuff is delicious food. It's delicious food. And us vegans are like, no, these are victims. Look at these victims. That food is coming from these victims. And you're all like, no, I don't want to see the truth. I don't want to see the truth. It's just food. It's just ice cream. It's just bacon. It's okay. We're not doing anything wrong. These vegans they're just mean. They're just mean. And we're like, no, you're mean to these animals. Like, these animals shouldn't have to die for your food preferences. This pig shouldn't have to die for bacon. In case you don't know, bacon is carcinogenic. So this pig's literally losing his life so you can eat his flesh. And all you're doing by doing that is just increasing your risk of cancer and heart disease and causing another pandemic like swine flu. It's crazy. It's just craziness. Okay, well, I'm going to sign off. Check out my last video. I'll try in the morning to see if you have a question, leave it on that last TikTok I made. Just leave a question there on my last TikTok, and in the morning I'll try to respond to it. Yeah, look at my last video. It's a stitch I did of the Iowa dairy farmer. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Also, check out the other video that I posted about this dairy farmer, small dairy farmer, literally takes a newborn calf off of his dairy cow, puts that newborn calf that was in a barn with his mother, puts him outside in a tiny little pen when he stated that the temperature or the wind chill was going down to minus 20 degrees. Check that video out too. Yeah, you want to come to the defense of plants, but you don't want to come to the defense of these animals? Really? Are you serious? Are you serious right now? Like, you don't want to come to the defense of these sentient creatures who literally feel pain just like you do, who literally have emotions, or I don't know, literally have emotions like humans are supposed to. You don't want to come to his defense, but you want to come to the defense of a potato? You want to come to the defense of a bean sprout? Are you kidding me? Like,